it's me, Ella, and today I'll be reading a book called Ariel Makes Waves, Chapter 1 to 2. Chapter 1, Out of the Reef. Ariel, catch up! Ariel blinked in surprise. Just a minute ago, and her 6 old sisters had been getting ready to go to breakfast. And then she had distracted by the new sea sponges outside their bedroom window. They were bright red, almost the exact shade of her hair. Where did they come from? She wondered. She knew the royal gardeners had placed them there, but she couldn't remember seeing sponges like these on the nearby coral reef. Maybe one day when she was older, she could. Ariel! She turned towards the voice. 5 of her sisters were already gone. Tina, the oldest, floated by the door, flipping her mermaid tail impotentially. Ah, cried. Ah, Ariel thought now. Tina's going to want to swim her fastest to catch up with everyone. But Tina was 13 and Ariel was only 7. So of course Ariel's tail was smaller, meaning she couldn't swim as fast. This happened all the time, just yesterday. Ariel! Ariel's eyes snapped back into her sister, who was swimming towards her. A demented look on her face. Uh-oh, Tina took Ariel by the shoulder and swirled her around to face the mirror, then began working a brush through Ariel's long red hair. Is your bandinu clean at last? Tina asked, feeling self-conscious. Ariel looked down. She was wearing her favorite top today, simple and purple. She picked it out herself, and yes, it was clean. She touched a strip of her cloth and nodded, then winced as the motion made the brush catch in her hair. Good, all done, Tina announced. Ariel's face her sisters for inspection while Tina looked her over. Ariel's gaze drifted to Tina's auburn, perfectly done up as always, as her 5-pointed tiara. Perfectly in place as always. Tina nodded in satisfaction and motioned toward the door. She's so confident, Ariel thought as she started swimming. When will I feel like that? When they arrived in the palace dining room, breakfast was over. Ariel's father, King Triton, shook his head when she arrived late. But luckily, he was too busy today to scold her properly. With a quick listen to your sisters, Ariel, he swam off with advisors to attend to the business of ruling Atlantica. She didn't even get the chance to ask him if she could come out with them. Every day, the sisters had time after breakfast to play on the reef. Ariel's always invited the king along, and sometimes he said yes. Yes. Those were the best days. Ariel was trying to figure out the pattern. Did he say yes more often days when he had an extra cupcake? Or was he more likely to be agreeable on the days when she wore flower in her hair? Or maybe Ariel! She looked up from her empty plate. Her sisters were heading for the archway that led to the palace exit. Looking over their shoulders at her, and Rena was swimming towards Ariel. You know, if you like that plate so much, you can take it with you. We've got more. Andrea kept her face serious, but Ariel knew she was teasing. No, it's not that. The plate, I mean. was thinking Ariel always felt a little frustrated when Dorina joked with her. Gina flopped down in the chair next to Ariel, pushing her short blonde hair out of her eyes and sinking her chin into her hands. In a listening pose by the archway, the 5 old sisters made impotent noises. Go on, we'll catch up. We can't go without you, and you know it. Alan, the second oldest, called back. She was 12. You're both too little. And Dorina turned to Ariel and rolled her eyes, which made Ariel giggle a bit. Okay, little sis, we don't have much time. What's your worry in 10 words or less? 10 words weren't nearly enough to explain herself. Ariel tried her best. I want Daddy to play with us more cupcakes. And Gina snorted with laughter. Try again. Ariel furrowed her brow. If Daddy eats more cupcakes, will he play with us more? This time Andrea ticked off the words on her fingers. We'll hold that close enough. She seemed to understand what Ariel was asking. No, silly head. Daddy plays with us whenever he can take a break from running the kingdom. That's all that it is to it. He wouldn't let something like cupcakes make that decision. Ariel slumped down in her seat. Of course, Andrina was right, but that made Ariel's plan go to the royal cooks to make more cupcakes kind of pointless, since Andrina grabbed Ariel's hand and pulled her from the table. Now that we've got that figured out, let's go. Remember, we're playing Ride the Current today. Ariel looked over at Andrina as they swam over the arch together. She's only 1 year older than I am, but she thinks so fast, and sometimes she just seems to know much. Ariel thought, when will I be like that? Ariel, catch up! Yelled a quarter. Out on the reef, the 3 oldest sisters of the Atina, Alan, and 11 years old Adela relaxed among the coral, gossiping and doing one another's hair. Once in a while, they would go over, glance over at the other 4 to call the instructions or make jokes. The 4 younger sisters swam above them. Playing Ride the Current was excited and nervous. Since she had just started playing the game a few months ago, the current that ran over the coral reef would go very fast. And her sisters had only recently decided she was strong enough to swim out of it before getting carried away too far. The first time she'd played, Ariel would that maybe she wasn't strong enough, but I was fine in the end, she reminded herself. I was stronger than I thought. Ariel, come on, catch up! She looked around. The other 3 had already swum into the current. 10-year-old a quarter was waving at her, beckoning her to hurry up. Ariel propelled herself into the fast-moving stream of water, letting out a whee! And she whooshed away after them. Then she swam free out of the current and tumbled back into the slow-moving waters. And Gina and a quarter were waiting for her. Along with the 9-year-old Arista, a quarter was peering at her spectrally. Ariel looked down at herself. What's wrong? I think I just figured out how you can swim a bit faster, a quarter said. You've got to glide into it. She turned around and lifted her long brown hair so Ariel could see a quarter's whole back. Like this? She flexed her shoulders and back, then continued to motion through the power wap of her tail. Now you try. Ariel tried to copy her, arching her back gracefully, then whipping her tail. But something went wrong, and she ended up twisting around upside down. 3 girls burst out laughing. And after a moment, Ariel did it too. A quarter reached out and pulled Ariel right side up again. You'll get it, she said. Just keep practicing in the meantime. Ready to ride that current again? Ariel nodded, and the 4 girls headed upstream. Ariel watched a quarter swim powerfully through the water. She's so strong, Ariel thought. Sometimes I can't see how I'll ever be like that with all the practice in the world. When did she practice? I wonder if Ariel! 3 sister chorused, lost in thought. Ariel had fallen behind again with a sigh. She flipped her tail as hard as she could and tried her best to catch up. Chapter 2, Whisk Away. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 1 of Ariel Makes Wave. Bye!